Alright, as you can see, halfway decent haul. Not bad. There's a few other stuff that we picked up, but eh, I just didn't feel like putting it in the video. I could have. I didn't think it was appealing. Some of this stuff might not be appealing to you, but these are definitely some items that you could look out for on future thrift hauls or yard sale, swap meet, state sale, that sort of thing. So we'll get right into it. We'll start at the bottom here. So this here is a vintage snapback hat. This is the Colorado Rockies. They are a baseball team, and it is made by Lee Sports. And to tell that it's true vintage, it has to be at least 20 years old, and this is 1995. So that makes it 20 years old. Snapback meaning the back is a snap, not fitted or strap backed. And I paid $1 for this, and I should get about $15, maybe $20, seeing as how it's new. But $1 and $15, I would say conservatively. Next up is this fishing dad hat, and I'm debating on keeping it because I like goofy dad hats. And I love fishing, and I like this hat. So I might keep it. If not, I paid $1 for it. I'm sure I can get at least 10 to 15 for it because it is a goofy dad hat, and there's goofy dads out there like me. There's that one. This is a Logitech, and it's got the software with it, and it's a Harmony 1. So this is kind of like a universal remote with an LCD screen on it. And I tested it. It was working. It had 10 bucks on it. I offered him 5. He took it. And they sell between $50 to $100. I haven't seen very many with the software on it still, so I might be able to get a little bit more. We'll say 50, but I'll try for 70 since I got the software. I've showed you these in my thrift haul, yard sale videos before. These are Skechers shape ups. I don't believe they sell these anymore, but they're still super popular. I paid up for these at a Goodwill. They're in halfway decent shape. I'll clean them up. They're intact, so there might be some stains and some scuffs, but they're not falling apart. I believe, yeah, there we go. And I did pay $8 for them. I should be able to sell them for about 30 bucks. And these came from the Goodwill as well. I paid up for these more than I would likely, but there's a brand here that is one of my favorite brands to sell, and that is right there, Patagonia. Great selling brand. I paid $12.99, so yeah, I paid $13 for them. And I don't think I can get a ton for them. Patagonia shoes, they weren't super, the sell-through rate wasn't super great. There wasn't very many options for them. But Patagonia sells very well, and what I did see, I should be able to sell them for about 35 bucks. That is not a great margin for me, 13 into 30-ish, but they should sell fast. So that's a big one for me. Here are some shorts. These are women's shorts. Callaway brand, which is a good brand. I paid 50 cents for them. They should sell for about 15 bucks. They're in very good shape too. These two, let's see. This is not a super great brand, Jerry with a G. But there was 2 pairs. It was at a yard sale, and they were selling them for 50 cents. Clothing was all 50 cents, and they had a lot of them. I'm out of focus. I don't know what's coming back. I got an eBay message coming through. Maybe that has something to do with it. There we go. They typically sell for about $8 to $10, but I found 2 pairs, same size, 50 cents a piece. I think I should be able to turn that into $15 to $18 for $1. All right, moving up. I don't typically sell a lot of chaps either, but this is a good size. You can see here it's 2XL tall, and this is a good pattern. This is kind of it kind of looks like a vintage shirt, but it's hard to tell. It's got the tags on it. It's new. That was a big selling point for me, is the fact that it was new. I like the plaid. I like the colors. And I believe I paid $1 for it. And I'm pretty sure I can turn this one into about 15 to 20. Another one, these shorts. I don't really like to pick up pleated shorts. Pleat meaning this crease here. Flat front is kind of the style nowadays. They seem to sell a lot better. And Clubroom isn't a great brand, but they're new with tags, and I like new with tags. So I paid 50 cents for them. I like that also, and I think I should be able to sell them for 10 to 15 bucks. Let's see here, Tommy Bahama. I believe this is no, it might be a women's cut. No, actually that's men's. I can tell by the size. It's a medium, and it's a little too big to be women's. So Tommy Bahama medium, not a great size. Oh, that one's a small. So, but I love the graphics on them. I believe they're 100% silk. So it's more so the graphics about these. Tommy Bahama isn't like a. It used to be a must for me. Oh, I just noticed this. It's a Christmas Tommy Bahama. Oh, price just went up. Perfect timing for it too. Check that out. Cool. I would have said about 15 bucks for this one, just with the graphics. But since it's a Christmas one, I bet you I could probably get more, like 40 for it. Cool. It's size small. That's not a selling point. So a great selling point. XL and up is the best sizes on stuff like this. So yeah, I don't typically put offers on my items, but I'll probably list this one at 40 bucks and give them an option of best offer. This one here I'll go 15 to 20 on, and I paid 50 cents a piece for them. Like I was saying before, I would typically pass on Tommy Bahamas nowadays, just the plain ones, because they're overpriced. The market is extremely flooded, and you just don't get what you used to get for them. You know, I used to get $40 for basic Tommy Bahamas with not a lot of graphics going on, but I'll be happy if I get 10 to 15 bucks for them. But these ones were appealing, and they were cheap, so I picked them up. All right, this one here. This didn't seem like a very appealing shirt to me until I saw the tag. This was at a thrift store or Goodwill, and it's Cool brand, Kuhl, and I gotta thank Rally Roots for this one, because there's a possibility I may have passed on it. I'm pretty good about searching brands that I've never heard of before when I'm scrolling through the thrift stores, but I've heard Rally Roots mention this brand a couple of times. Rally Roots is another YouTube channel. If you're watching my channel right now, I'm sure you've heard of them. They're much bigger than me, and they're super informative. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. Rally Roots, and it's Ryan and Allie. So, and Callie. Sorry, they have a close family friend that works with them also, and she's a sweetheart as well. And so anyhow, I have a tendency to get off track. I paid $5 for this shirt, and I believe I can probably sell it for about 30. Good shirt, good brand, cool. So this is a DeWalt. I like getting like employee brand, like uniform stuff, but this turned out to be a NASCAR shirt, and it's Matt Kenseth, number 20 DeWalt. It's in really good shape. It's got some hair on it, but I'll clean it up. I don't want to wash it because it's got that nice crisp new feeling to it. You can tell it's never been washed, so it was probably never worn. Maybe once. It is a 3XL. I didn't look up comps on it. It was 50 cents. I'm sure I can make at least 15 bucks off of it. Tommy Bahama t-shirt. It's got some graphics on the back. It was another one that was 50 cents. I don't pick up a lot of Tommy Bahama t-shirts. I don't even see a lot of Tommy Bahama t-shirts. This is something I would wear if it wasn't an XL. I'm a large, so 50 cents. I'm sure I can get $10 to $15 for it. It is still Tommy Bahama. and I'm not sure how the market is for Tommy Bahama t-shirts. A brand that some of you may not have heard of, but you should definitely look out for, is Ariat. Let's see if I can find the tag on the button to show you the spelling. Let's see, focus. There we go, Ariat, A-R-I-A-T. It is a Western brand. These are Western jeans. I paid up for them. We're out here in southern Arizona, so there's a lot of Western going on. Uh-oh. I think we got a guest. Let's see, it might be the FedEx person. Nope, it's the neighbor honking. Quiet. Shh. My guard dogs. Yeah, but as soon as somebody walks in the door, all they do is waggle at them. So, Western jeans. These are really high quality jeans. They're built very well. I did pay $10 for them, but I should be able to sell them for $30 to $35, and I doubt they'll last 48 hours. So I'm happy with that because it's such a quick flip. So these two came from a yard sale, estate sale type thing, and these are just gnarly 1980s, 1970s shorts, swim trunks. And I've actually done pretty well with vintage swim trunks. They're super high, super small cut. I always put the rise or inseam, rise, which is the button to the, actually I'm saying this wrong. It's an inseam. So this is the inseam right here, which is this the length from the crotch sewing to the bottom hem. And I'll be able to put that in there. This cut doesn't really have one, maybe 2 inches. So, never really heard the brand, but made in the USA, that's another vintage selling point. But I'm pretty sure I'll make about $20 a pair on these because they are in good condition for their age. And yeah, those are becoming harder and harder to come by, and people are into that. Another one. Anybody recognize that whale? So this is a tie. I got this at a church thrift store, and it is Vineyard Vines. So I paid 50 cents for it, and I believe I could probably get about 20 bucks for it. It's in good shape. It's a nice tie. All right. Next up, we got these. These are Columbia shorts. Size large Columbia shorts. This is another pair of Columbia shorts. Those are extra large, and here's another pair of Columbia shorts. Columbia pants and shorts don't sell as well as the Columbia shirts, and the market for Columbia shirts are getting a little flooded too, but I was paying 50 cents a piece for these, so it's hard to pass on. I think I can make at least $10 to $12 a piece for them, and they should be easy listings. Alright, next up, this is what they call a bolo. Definitely look out for these. Cuisinart food processors. This is a DLC 8 Plus, but it really doesn't matter. All these do phenomenal. Unless it was new in the box, I part these out because this piece here worth about 20 to 25 bucks. The little pusher worth about 20 to 25 bucks. So this is the lid. This is what they call a working bowl too here. This is another part, which is another 20 to 25 bucks. The base itself, depending on where you're shipping it to, is worth about 20 to $45 because they're very heavy. It's about 15 pounds, and it's got an awkward shape with the little tip on there. So it raises it up about like an 8 to 10 inch in height. So it makes the box a little bit larger. I typically send them FedEx Smart Post, but unless they're close, it's going to be an expensive shipment. So that's why the price range between 20 and 50 bucks is so far apart, because shipping could get expensive with these. And inside is the metal blade. These come with a lot of different blades, but that one's the most important, and you get the most for those. Those will sell for about $20 to $25 also. So I paid, I think I got this at Savers, and I did pay the $7 for it, but I will pay $7 for these all day long and part them out. They're easy to list, easy to ship, and they sell very fast. So I'll part this out. There's about 5 parts here, and I'll make about $100 off of that 7. Excuse me. All right, this is the first time I've ever found one of these, and this is a can opener, jar opener combo. I've heard these things are good. I've probably walked past 100 of them, and this is the first one I've ever found. And typically I probably walk right past them because of this here, Black & Decker. It used to be a great brand, kind of sold out to Walmart, and when that happens, the quality kind of goes at that point because Walmart tries to keep their prices as low as they can, and sometimes that's just not possible when you want to keep your brand or your product's quality. You know, good materials and good assembly costs money. So the Black & Decker brand has kind of bit the bullet since they're not USA made anymore. But either way, I paid $1 for this. It was the end of the estate sale and they were half pricing everything. And the resale on this one is about $50 used, surprisingly. So, and the sell-through rate is really good. It's like 300%. So, $1 and $50, and it should sell within a couple of days. Good find. So, what I was getting at, basically, it doesn't matter if it's Black & Decker. If you find a jar opener, jump on it, especially if you can get it at a real reasonable price. Mine was a steal, $1, which was great. Next up, all right, Doc Martens. But look at these Doc Martens. They're basically new, but look at them. This is not your typical Doc Marten. These are sandals. They're pink. They're gnarly. I didn't even look them up. I saw Doc Martens. I saw that they're basically new, and they were $1. So $1 Doc Martens, pink. Yeah. So still got the original box. My wife actually was looking them up at the time when I found them, and she wanted me to pass on them, but for $1 for Doc Martens, can't do it. I believe she told me that they resell for about $25. So, but they don't sell fast. I couldn't pass, so we got them. Here's another. This is like a sweater, short sleeve sweater, or maybe it's a vest. It is a vest. Like I said before, I typically pass on chaps. It doesn't sell like it used to, but I just like this shirt. I thought it was nice. I don't see too many vests like these sweater vests. So it's 50 cents. I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm sure I can make at least $10 on it. I think it's a nice vest. It's really great material, really soft. So we're gonna give it a whirl. All right, next up, we got this gnarly looking thing. So this is a remote control boat, and one of the big selling points on it was, I haven't found an exact comp on it, but with this, it is gas powered. And when you go gas powered on RCA, anything, planes, remote control cars, boats, anything, you're getting pretty expensive. So this is definitely older. And this is all I'm really getting on it is this Aero Marine Racing Team Merc Cruiser stern drives, which I think that's just kind of like a model sticker that came with it. I don't think it's a brand or a model. I can't find a model number on it, although I haven't opened it up yet, and I don't know how to work one of these. So I don't know if it works, but it's in really good shape and it looks like it's been taken care of. The comps on them ranged between $100 to $300. So I'm gonna lowball it at, like, if it doesn't run, I think I can make at least $70 for it, and I paid $10 for it, surprisingly. We'll put this to the side. All right. Next up, these are these vintage jumpsuits or coveralls. Civil Air Patrol. Civil Air Patrol. You can definitely tell they're vintage because of the tag. That is an old tag. They're not all the same. This one's kind of a more slender. You can tell the one behind it kind of, goes out on both sides. So the one behind it is definitely bigger, and it's got different patches. There's no patch on the back. And then this one's not quite as old, made in Mexico. It's Dickies, but it's got some patches on it. Let's see, did it have a patch on the arm? No patch on the arm. And then this one's got a patch on the arm. Confederate Air Force Ghost Squadron. So I've never found stuff like this. I mean, I found like normal military stuff. This kind of looks like it might be like kind of civilian stuff, or it could have been from like maybe people working at a museum, or something like that. There's nothing super definitive. Some of the patches are selling though, so I'm thinking that the coverall should go well. But I paid 50 cents a piece for these at an estate sale. If you guys know anything about these, maybe you can leave it in the messages or the comments. So 50 cents a piece. I figured I can't go wrong. If anything, they're coveralls. Yeah. Next up, this is a gi, spelled G-I. This is for martial arts. This one in particular is for judo. It is new. It's adult size. It's larger. It's got the size right here. You can look up gi sizes. Size 6 is for adults is large. I believe it translated to like guys that were between 6 to 6'4" and around 250 pounds. And it feels that way. It's pretty heavy. This has got to be, I would say, 8 to 10 pounds. And I got this at that church thrift store. I paid $5 for it, and it should resell for about $50. All right, and this one, look out for that brand. I'm not going to torture it again. I've tortured it before, but these waffle makers sell very well. I did pay $6 for it. I'm pretty sure I can make about $40 for it. And they're all vintage. They all seem to be vintage. No, I'm not going to set that on those because you make waffles with butter and oil. All right, so lures or lure case. So lures are fishing lures, and I did pay $25 for it. I tried to talk the guy down, but he was pretty firm on it. But there's a lot of them. Lures are definitely collectible. If anything, they are expensive, and you can tell by the most collectible ones and the oldest ones is because they're made of wood. This one here is made of wood. And it seems like they're pretty much all made out of wood. Some of them will have a brand on there, and then others won't. The majority of these do not have a brand on them. So I can't really track them down to find out how much they're worth individually, but there is definitely some large ones. They're for muskie fishing. It says it right there. Some say collectible, which is a good sign, but look at the size of these. These things are huge. I mean, there's my hand, and they're about the size of my hand. So, when you buy these from the store, they're pretty expensive. You're going to pay $25 for each one of these in the stores. And if they're older, and they have a maker and a model number, and they're rare, they definitely go up. These ones are wood. Unfortunately, there's no maker or model number on any of them. These ones there were, but they weren't going high enough for me to want to part them out. So I'm not going to part these out. I did find one that was selling for about $50, and I did pull that one out. These ones were selling for about 10 to 15 a piece. I'll show you the last one. Sorry about the lighting. It might be pretty bad. I'm not a pro at this, obviously. If you've seen any of my other videos, I'm pretty amateur at this stuff. At the video making. Good at reselling. Amateur at making videos. So actually this is the one that I'm going to pull out, and it's called like a triple threat or something like that. And I was able to find the maker and model number of it. So this one is the one that sells for about 40 to 50 bucks. But I'm going to lay them all out. I'm going to sell them with the case. I paid 25 bucks for the case. I don't know enough about any of these lures to know their true value, especially since they're unmarked. So I'm going to auction style it. I'm going to try to at least triple my money, so I'm going to start the auction out at 75 bucks. And I'm going to charge shipping. I'm just going to ship them all in this case. And we'll see how it goes. If there's collectors out there that spot a nugget, good for them. Maybe they can get a deal, and maybe you can raise the price of the value of the auction. So hoping for at least 75 bucks. All right, and there is the biggest nugget of the day. This is a Brother and Telefax 2800 laser plain paper fax machine. So I was actually going to pass on this because I don't really know the markets of fax machines. And I've sold printers before, and I've had horrible experiences with printers. They're big, they're bulky, and it seems like they get returned about 50% of the time. You can make really good money on printers, but the return, like the complaint and return rate on them is just too much for me to risk. I mean, I'll probably still make money on them because the margins are great on printers and you can get them for so cheap, but I don't want to deal with the headache anymore. I sold about a dozen printers, and about half of them were returned, and I tested all of them. They were all working fine, and I had an issue every single time. I don't know if they're throwing a new one in, their old one in the box and returning their broken ones, or if they're just that frail and fragile during shipment. But if you want to sell printers, good luck to you. I stay away from them now. Anyhow, this is a fax machine, so there I go again, getting off subject. And I was going to pass on it, but it's new in the box, and I will probably just ship it in this box because it's probably full of styrofoam and padded and boxed perfectly, professionally from a factory. And the lady really was pushing to get rid of it. She asked me if I wanted it. Actually came to me and asked me if I wanted it because I was trying to scan the barcode and not get caught. And she approached me, and she was into the yard sale, and she's like, "You want it?" And I'm like, "I don't know if I need a fax machine. I don't know who even uses fax machines anymore." And she told me, "Well, why don't you sell it online?" And I'm like, "Well, why don't you sell it online?" Just making a joke of it. And she's like, "Oh, I'm old. I don't do that kind of stuff. But you're young. You can do it." Obviously, she didn't know that that's what I do for a living. And anyhow, she's like, "How about 10 bucks?" And I'm like, how about 5? And she's like, "Sold. Take it away." So I took it. I wasn't getting any cell service where I was at. So even when I was trying to scan it, it wasn't coming up. Got it in the car. Told my wife, "Oh, I got a fax machine." She's like, "What's it sell for?" I'm like, "I don't know. My phone wasn't working, but it's new in the box. I only paid 5 bucks for it." So we got into an area where we actually got service. I was able to scan it, and it came up on Amazon, and it sells for $500. $500 with a sales rank of 94 in office supplies. Amazing. For 5 bucks. Downfall about that. Downfall. I am restricted in the Brothers brand. So I can't sell it on Amazon. And I don't know when I would be able to sell it on Amazon. So I checked it on eBay, and I saw one that sold for about 200 bucks on eBay, but I believe it was used or it was new other. So I'm going to stake it on eBay. I'm going to put 250 bucks on it, brand new in the box, sealed, no other, and we'll see how it goes. So, but there you go. That's my haul for the weekend. For the most part. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all got some nuggets out of it and learned some stuff that you guys can carry on to your next treasure hunt or pick, and make some flips. Do some picks, make some flips.